Richmond TV presents This Week in Richmond.
Hello and welcome to This Week in Richmond for June 14th through the 27th. Our special guest today is Richmond Area Historical and Genealogical Society member Don Graham to talk to us about the Heritage Festival coming up at the end of the month. First up, let's see what's going on at the Odd. Drop-in pickleball games will be happening in the mornings from 9 a.m. to noon on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Cost to enter is $1. Youth Open Volleyball is on Tuesday, June 17th starting at noon. Cost to enter is $3. The Odd will be offering the girls' summer basketball camp from June 18th through the 20th for 3rd through 6th grades. 3rd and 4th grades will be meeting at 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m., 5th and 6th grades from 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Cost for residents is $65, non-residents is $70. For more information, contact the Odd at richmondrecreation.rca@gmail.com or call 586-430-4950. Babysitting Beyond the Basics will be happening on Saturday, June 21st from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. This is for ages 10 and older. Fees for the class is $75. Class is held at the Odd and is an American Heart Association course provided by A1 Health and Safety. A workbook is provided, and upon successful completion, students will receive a certificate of attendance. You will need to bring a bag lunch and a pen or pencil. Call the Recreation Department at 586-727-3064 for registration and more information. Preschool Sports Sampler at the Odd teaches preschool-age children how to play various sports including football, basketball, volleyball, and soccer. First session will be on June 17th, and then 19th, 24th, and 26th from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Registration is required and cost is $35 per child and per session. Volleyball camp will be going on from June 23rd through the 26th. This program is for 4th through 8th grades. 4th and 5th grades will go from 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m., with 6th through 8th grades from 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Registration fee for the Richmond residents is $90, non-resident cost being $100. Now are the events for the Parks and Recreation Department. Camp Richmond will be going on from June 16th through August 1st and is held under the Beebe Street Park Pavilion and is outdoor based. Activities will be supervised by camp counselors with activities including sports, arts and crafts, non-competitive games, swimming, special events, and classic camp fun. Daily fee is $30 for residents and $33 for non-residents. For the best deal, pay by the week. Residents will be $125, non-residents will be $150. PM sitter service will be back for $20.25 for $5 from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Crafts to Go begins on Friday, June 13th and goes through August 15th. The Recreation Department will be making free weekly craft kits available for pickup on Fridays. The crafts are designed for ages 6 to 12 years old with minimal adult help. There will be 30 kits available on first-come, first-served basis. Only one kit per child. You can also follow along with on the show of the same name, posted to the Richmond TV YouTube channel on Fridays at 8 a.m. Children's Entertainment Series will be returning with the Detroit Science Center States of Matter on Thursday, June 26th, beginning at 11 a.m. at the Beebe Street Park Pavilion. This program is a family-friendly, free program. You don't want to miss these summer shows. The summer concerts in the park will be continuing on Wednesday, June 25th, from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. The feature act will be Gary Greenfelder Biggs Band, a 13-piece big band with the vocalist. Bring your lawn chair, pack a picnic, and come prepared to relax and enjoy the entertainment with the whole family. This is a free event. The splash pad in Beebe Park is now open. Hours of operation are 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Make sure to read the posted rules. The city pool will be fully open starting June 14th. Open swim hours are Monday through Thursday, 1 to 5 p.m. and 6 to 8 p.m. Fridays are 1 to 7 p.m. and weekends go from 1 to 5 p.m. Open swim is $5 per person, with children ages 2 and under are free. You may also purchase summer passes. Individuals are $72 for residents and $84 for non-residents. Family passes are $140 for residents and $160 for non-residents. Seniors at least 60 years of age are $60. Lap Swim starts on June 16th and goes through August 13th. Enjoy the time to get into shape or just relax and swim. The pool is closed to the general public, passes not accepted, and fee is $3 per person. Hours are Monday through Thursday, 5 to 6 p.m., Tuesday and Thursday, 9 to 11 a.m., and Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Senior-only swim takes place on Saturdays, June 20th through August 29th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Cost to enter is $3, or punch cards are $30 for 12 punches. Now for what's going on at the Lois Wagner Memorial Library. Senior exercise will be happening every Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. And this program goes at your own pace and is guided by an instructor to help with movement. Lap Sit Plus is a reading program for children ages 6 to 36 months. They will be going on every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Lois Wagner Memorial Library Meeting Room. Adult Craft Night at the library will be on Tuesday, June 17th and Wednesday the 18th at 6 p.m. No cost to enter, but spots are limited, so call 586-727-2665 to register. This craft is a book-based workshop. Preschool Storytime is a reading program for children through ages 3 to 5 years old. This program is every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Lois Wagner Memorial Library Meeting Room. Hooks and Needles is a social program where you can bring your knitting supplies and create in your community. This program will be held on Tuesday, June 24th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Hooks and Needles will take place in the Lois Wagner Memorial Library Meeting Room. Now it's time for the city meeting schedule. City Council will be meeting at City Hall on Monday, June 16th at 7 p.m. TIFA will be meeting on June 25th at 7 p.m. at City Hall. Now for On Your Radar. The Richmond Area Historical and Genealogical Society is putting on the annual Heritage Festival on June 28th and 29th. This is an all-day event with tons of activities for the whole family that include historic exhibits, demonstrations at the Historic Village on Water Street between Stone and Beebe. We will be having Don Graham come in and let us know more details about the event later on in this episode. We'll be right back to talk with Don Graham about the upcoming Heritage Festival. Stay tuned. Welcome back to This Week in Richmond. I am now joined by Don Graham of the Richmond Area Historical and Genealogical Society to talk about the upcoming Heritage Festival. Thanks for joining us, Don.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor for me to be here, both to represent the Richmond Area Historical Society as well as the Heritage Festival. So we're looking forward to it and appreciate the promotion that you're giving us right now.
Of course. We always love highlighting community events. Now, when is the Heritage Festival?
The Heritage Festival is scheduled for June 28 and 29. That will be rain or shine. On Saturday, it'll run from 10 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. On Sunday, from noon to 4.
Okay. Do you now you're going to have antique cars there? What kind of cars are we expecting to have?
Yeah, we're going to have antique cars, antique tractors. There are going to be several Model Ts that are there. There are going to be a couple of Model As, 1930 Ford Coupe. The list goes on and on. We're going to have the Richmond Fire Department is going to bring a 100-year-old fire truck as well.
Nice.
And we'll have a big steel-wheeled tractor there that's 102 years old, still running perfectly, and a lot of other farm tractors that were used in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Good. And then you're also going to have sawmill demonstrations. So how does that work? Why don't you take us through that?
Yeah, there's an organization in the area, Richmond Antique Engine and Threshing Association. They have an antique sawmill, and they bring in big logs, and they live cut them into lumber. And so it's quite an attraction. It's powered by a tractor, and so they'll take these logs, cut it into 1-inch wide lumber, and people can see how it used to be done 100 years ago.
Okay. So what events are lined up for the individual buildings like Log Cabin, Train Depot, the barn?
Yeah, I'll try to mentally cycle
Right,
through
I
it
know,
a
it's
little bit.
it's
But
probably
at the
a big
log
question.
cabin, this is the Donley Log Cabin, and the reason we chose the weekend of June 28 and 29 is because that Sunday is Michigan Log Cabin Day. So anybody that has a log cabin throughout the state of Michigan has an event going on that day.
Okay.
And Richmond is very fortunate to have one of the best log cabins. And it's been excellently preserved. Inside, they'll see some things that were generic to the log cabin, all the way from the 1800s up to the 1950s, the last time people actually lived there.
Yeah.
There's also going to be a young lady demonstrating butter making inside that
Okay.
log cabin. There might be some fiber art stuff there as well. So there'll be plenty of things to learn, to see, and they can learn how the log cabin was moved from 28 Mile Road, roughly 29 Mile Road in Gratiot, up to its current location.
Okay.
And there's quite a story behind that. I don't know if you have time for it right now
Go
or not.
for it.
But
We got plenty of
yeah,
time.
the Donnelly family from Ireland lived there, and when they built a more modern house, that house burned down. They moved back into the log cabin. Then they built another house. High school kids used that log cabin to party in, and they set it on fire twice.
no.
And the Donnellys were concerned about that. It began to deteriorate. And so they very generously came to the Historical Society and said, would you be willing to supervise the movement of that log cabin from its location on 29 Mile Road up to Bailey Park here in Richmond? And so some funds were raised, and they very carefully moved it and restored it. And there were some craftsmen that have worked many, many years on it. And the Donnelly family has been very generous, helping fund all of that. So they can learn all about that. They can see the pictures of the move and see the butter making as well.
That's
And,
awesome.
yeah, one of the, I guess it would be a great-great-grandchild is a magnificent cabinet maker. And he built an exact replica of the dining room table that fills up about a quarter of that log cabin. And today, if you were to buy that table, it probably would run you, I'm guessing, $10,000 or something. It's just a magnificent piece of furniture. So if anybody's interested in woodworking, that's a great thing to look at.
Right.
I need to finish.
I was just gonna guide you. So
Yeah.
why don't we just
The
go right
train
down the
depot,
street?
Yeah,
the train
depot.
next.
We're going to have that open. There'll be a docent in there, and they can see the importance of that building to this the farming community of the Richmond area. Next door to that is a one-room schoolhouse, and there will be some fiber arts people in there. There'll be some docents to explain who was in that school, how it was used, what a one-room school was all about. There's several features in there, including old books and
They got
quill
the chalk
pens,
tablets.
the little chalk tablets, yep, feather pens, and learn how that ink was made from berries. And yeah, they will be able to ring the bell.
Okay.
Next door to that is the museum, and there are some new exhibits in there. There's a man by the name of Joe Maranzano that died recently, and he donated a lot of his railroad stuff.
Yep.
And so there's a great exhibit there. Crossing the street, the barn, and there's a lot of kids' activities in there. I can go through those in a minute if you would like.
Yep.
But there's a lot of hands-on activities in that barn. Next door to the barn is a windmill. Everybody's talking about solar and wind power today. Wind power is not new.
No.
It was used back in the 1800s. And then next to that is the filling station. That's recently renovated. Again, another magnificent job done on that. And you can walk in there and you can see the old gas pumps and some of the old tools and the wood-burning stove and pictures of what Richmond used to look like back in the 1920s and so
Nice.
forth. So there's lots to see and do.
Okay. So there's also going to be a Farm Bureau trailer. What are they going to have lined up?
Yeah, it's an educational trailer. It talks to people or teaches people about the importance of various crops that are grown here in Michigan. Everything from things that we might not think about, onions and carrots, all the way up to the things we do, that would be soybeans and corn. And so there's a question and answer display boards. And at the back of this Farm Bureau trailer is also a virtual reality setup. So kids, even adults, can sit in a John Deere tractor seat. They put the goggles on and they see themselves in a giant tractor harvesting soybeans.
Okay.
And I think most of your viewers probably know what virtual reality
Of
is.
course.
But as you look to the left, you would see what you would see if you were on that tractor. You can
Yep.
look in the rearview mirror and see what's behind you, and look to your right and so forth. It's a great thing.
All you're
Kids
missing
love
is the
that.
smells.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Well, good. So, what kids' activities will be there?
A lot of those. One of the things that we have is a scavenger hunt. Let me step back just for a moment. The whole Richmond Area Historical and Genealogical Society is about two things. Preservation, these buildings that people will be able to see, and education. And we want to educate the kids about a culture that we really don't know anymore, a local culture here. So they're going to be able to milk a cow.
Right.
They're going to be able to shell corn the old-fashioned way. Grind that corn into cracked corn, and then after that into cornmeal. If they're a little bit older, they'll be able to sharpen a knife on a whetstone.
Okay.
They'll be able to touch some antique tools and measuring equipment and so forth. But that scavenger hunt I talked about will take them through all of the buildings. There are questions for each building.
Okay.
And if they answer the questions correctly, and it's not hard to do,
Right.
they get points for that. They also get, I'll call it points, we call them dollars, for every building they visit, every hands-on activity they do, the games that are designed for kids. There's a whole game area behind the museum. And they can take sheets that we will give them, punch cards,
Right.
and when they have those filled out, they can take them to a general store and then spend their dollars.
Okay.
But the barn in particular is filled with kids' activities, and behind the museum, several kids' games.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got tons of stuff for them.
Are you going to have the petting zoos again?
Yeah, I'll modify the description just slightly. The Wolcott Farm Learning Center will be there with some animals. But the animals are not really a petting zoo.
Okay.
They're more there to describe the importance of farm animals, the care of farm animals, why these animals were so important to the survival of people 150 years ago.
Okay.
And the meat, hair, believe it or not, the wool, of course, and the meat.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what is the Fiber Festival?
Yeah, we used to have two separate events, Fiberfest and then the Heritage Festival, but we thought it made a lot of sense to combine the two because there's a lot of synergism to be had.
A lot of overlap between the two activities.
Exactly, yeah. And so there will be people there showing how sheep are sheared, showing how that wool is cleaned and then stretched and spun into yarn, how that yarn in turn is used to make everything from mittens to shawls to shirts and coats, and then how other fibers are also important, everything from copper to flax to, I said copper, I meant cotton.
I know what you meant.
I better fix that. Yeah, I'm a metallurgist, so that
It happens.
comes naturally. But yeah, cotton and flax and so forth. And yeah, they'll be able to see how all of that is done. And some of these things that are made will be available for purchase. So.
Okay. So how do the blacksmithing, wood carvers, and lace makers demonstrate their work?
Yeah, we're going to have as many as 3 blacksmiths right along Park Street. It will be right across the street from the museum, right near the barn. And they'll have their forges, they'll be red hot, and they will take iron and pound it into different shapes. And these guys will make tools, they'll make hooks, they'll make nails, they'll make fancy filigree work and all of that. They're talented. And while they're doing that in front of the audience, they explain what it is that they're doing, why they're heating to a certain temperature, what the color of the iron means as they're working it, and how they temper it and quench it and all of that. So again, educational as well as entertaining.
Right.
So, yep. And then the wood carver. will be in the barn, and he's an artist with wood.
Okay.
And he'll talk about the tools that he uses and show. He's got a display table that will display all of the artwork that he's done with wood. Some of these things are quite small, other things are larger, and yeah, he's an entertaining guy to talk to.
Good. And then you have the lace making also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we hope to have a lace maker there.
Okay.
And yeah, it's, you know, you look at some of the doilies, some of the shawls and all of that people make. I mean, it's incredibly intricate. The designs are fantastic to look at. So yeah, people will be able to see that.
So, so you're going to have this general store. What items are you going to be providing there? Is it more like toys for kids, or is it like historic, you know, what you would find at a general store?
No, we're talking about doing that for next year.
Okay.
But at this point, it's stuff for kids. I was almost going to say junk for kids, but the kids don't call it junk. They love it. Yeah, so when they go around and do the scavenger hunt, and there's also some chemical experiments they'll be able to do. I'll come back to that in a moment. They collect points or dollars at every stop, and then they can shop at the general store. And that will be between the barn and the windmill.
Okay.
There'll be a big banner out there that says general store in old-looking letters.
Gotcha.
And they can browse all of the toys, the trinkets, the coloring books, all kinds of stuff that's there, and decide what it is they want to buy.
All right.
Yeah.
So what other attractions are going to be at the Heritage Festival that we haven't brought up before? Yeah,
well, one of the things that we do that the kids love is a series of chemical experiments. If I wander afield, you can shut me down here, but Thomas Edison, when he was 12 years old, sold newspapers and candy on a train that ran between Detroit and Port Huron. During his downtime, he would do experiments in a freight car. And one of those experiments set the freight car on fire.
As one does when you're putting chemicals together.
Exactly. And so the conductor was obviously very upset. And the legend is, grabbed him by the ears and threw him off the train in Smith's Creek, just north of here. And he was hard of hearing ever since. Well, in his honor, we replicate some of the experiments that he did in that train, including using, I'm going to use some long words here, glycerin and potassium permanganate to set a fire. It's a purple-pink fire, and very hot. And they think that's what he did when he set the freight car on fire. So the kids, it's not dangerous at all right? We've got people there that know how to keep them safe.
You're not doing it inside of a car.
Yeah, but they can take flasks, they pour chemical A into chemical B, and the chemical changes color, the liquid changes color, and all that sort of thing. So the kids love doing that as well. And
you also have, sorry if I say this wrong, mathnasm?
Mathnasium, yes, like gymnasium, except, this is the first time they're here. That's one of the new things that every year, you know, this festival has gotten bigger and better every single year.
Okay.
And this is a couple, they're both teachers, and they're passionate about getting young people fascinated by math. And so they're going to have some games and activities that stimulate interest in mathematics as well as reading. The man is also a writer of children's books.
Okay.
So they are actually going to have two, I'll call them tents, awnings, there. One will be devoted to mathematics. The other will be devoted to reading and writing.
Okay.
And you'll have the chance to meet the author, meet the author event, and buy books and see the books and listen to what it is that gets kids interested in math, science, reading. And a lot of parents are passionate about that because kids spend so much time on screens these days that mental exercise is missing. And learning how to think as opposed to just repeating things they've been taught in the classroom is missing.
Yep.
And this couple is interested in developing kids' brains that way.
Good.
So we're excited to have them here and really looking forward to it.
Good. Now, with this, with an event that's this big, with so many events over 2 days, it must be difficult to try and pull all the resources together to do this. So who is sponsoring the Heritage Festival?
Yeah, well, largely it's the Richmond Area Historical Society, Genealogical Society. We have about 50 volunteers that participate. There's a committee of 6 that does the planning and the prepping and all of that sort of thing. But we need a lot of docents in the building. We need people to welcome visitors and make them feel at home and so forth. But in addition to that, this is very expensive for us. I don't know if it's appropriate. I don't know if the president of this society would be happy if I talked about what it costs us to put this on, but it's a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
And we are very much dependent on local merchants to support us. And our biggest supporter over the years has been Family Farm and Home there in Richmond. And they've been very helpful to us. In addition to that, Richmond Farm Bureau, which is almost right next door to Family Farm and Home. Mathnasium has been a supporter. First State Bank has been a supporter. There are others. Rick's Barbershop right in downtown Richmond is a supporter. Health Quest, Physical Therapy Clinic, Graham Family Farm, Shepherd Sales and Service. All of these have been quite generous. And then there are what we call donors, people that will donate things that we need. AutoZone, O'Reilly's, some other stores. And so we're very much appreciative of this. Without them, we wouldn't be able to afford to do this.
Right.
And even with them, it's still, we're struggling to run in the black. We haven't yet.
Right.
And we'll see.
I mean,
this year.
An event like this, though, is so much more than what the cost to put it on is, because it's so educational, not just to the local area, but just to our cultural, our history as a whole.
Yeah. This is something that we do for the community. If this isn't too much hyperbole, this is a gift we give to the community rather. This is a mini Greenfield Village. It's absolutely free, this festival. You go to Greenfield Village, it costs you $30 a person to get in. And here you can do pretty much everything you can do at Greenfield Village on a smaller scale, and there's not as many things to see, but still collect toys of one sort or another, materialism, and where everybody wanted to collect toys of one sort or another. I think today people are into experiences. And this is a great experience. It's an opportunity to put down the cell phone, to build a relationship. One of the things that irritates me is a couple will go out to dinner and they're together physically, but they're both on their cell phones. Here, put down the cell phone, walk hand in hand with your spouse or your kids, and build a real relationship. Watch the kids do these things. I'm always pleased when I see a little kid intimidated by, the life-size cow and trying to talk them. You can milk that thing. And they sit down and they grab the udder and get it to work. And then immediately they turn around with a big smile on their face, looking at their parents for approval. Do you see what I just did? I mean, that's something that kid will remember the rest of their lives. So this is an experience, this festival, and an opportunity to build a relationship with parents, grandparents, friends, all of that. So, yeah, we're very happy to host it. We just hope people come out. This village, historic village, with these antique buildings, I mean, this is a gem in the city. And
especially with how much you guys have expanded on it over the past, even just the past 5 years. In the past 5 years, you've added, you've fixed up the fill-in station, you've added the barn, you've added the windmill. Now that rededicating the Donnelly cabin, doing updates to that. I mean, you guys, you're always busy doing something over there. So.
No, there have been people that have been passionate about this area for years, and the work they've put in is just incredible.
So,
yeah.
But is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, it's a great hands-on experience. I think this is a great opportunity to build memories. Think about some of the things you did as a child that you loved, and you still remember it today fondly. And so this is an opportunity for families, individuals, to get out and take a look at old tractors and old cars, and the grandparents can say, I used to drive one of these, I used to work on the farm with one of these things. Mothers can say, grandmothers, this is how butter is made, this is how lace is made. to your point a little bit earlier, all of that. So yeah, we'd love to have as many people come out as possible. Yeah.
Okay.
We're looking forward to it.
Well, good. All right. Well, thank you, Don, for joining me today.
Well, again, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Love having you on the show. All right. The Richmond Area Historical and Genealogical Society Heritage Festival will be on June 28th and 29th. June 28th from
10
a.m. to 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Sunday from noon to 4 p.m.
Yes.
You can also go to their website, richmondhistoricalsociety.com, to view any of the details on the information that we've talked about. Links for, if you're watching this on YouTube, links for all of that will be down below, also in the description. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.